The United States Atomic Energy Commission was an agency of the United States government established after World War II by Congress to foster and control the peacetime development of atomic science and technology. 91-102 President Harry S. Truman signed the McMahon Atomic Energy Act on August 1, 1946, transferring the control of atomic energy from military to civilian hands, effective from January 1, 1947. Public Law 585, 79th Congress. This shift gave the first members of the EC complete control of the plants, laboratories, equipment, and personnel assembled during the war to produce the atomic bomb. During its initial establishment and subsequent operationalization, the EC played a key role in the institutional development of ecosystem ecology. Specifically, it provided crucial financial resources, allowing for ecological research to take place. Perhaps even more importantly, it enabled ecologists with a wide range of groundbreaking techniques for the completion of their research. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, the EC also approved funding for numerous bioenvironmental projects in the Arctic and near Arctic. These projects were designed to examine the effects of nuclear energy upon the environment and were a part of the Commission's attempt at creating peaceful applications of atomic energy. An increasing number of critics during the 1960s charged that the EC's regulations were insufficiently rigorous in several important areas, including radiation protection standards, nuclear reactor safety, plant siting, and environmental protection. By 1974, the EC's regulatory programs had come under such strong attack that Congress decided to abolish the agency. The agency was abolished by the Energy Reorganization Act of 1974, which assigned its functions to two new agencies, the Energy Research and Development Administration and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. On August 4, 1977, President Jimmy Carter signed into law the Department of Energy Organization Act of 1977, which created the Department of Energy. The new agency assumed the responsibilities of the Federal Energy Administration, the Energy Research and Development Administration, the Federal Power Commission, and programs of various other agencies. In creating the EC, Congress declared that atomic energy should be employed not only in the form of nuclear weapons for the nation's defense, but also to promote world peace, improve the public welfare and strengthen free competition and private enterprise. At the same time, the McMahon Act, which created the EC, also gave it unprecedented powers of regulation over the entire field of nuclear science and technology. It furthermore explicitly prevented technology transfer between the United States and other countries, and required FBI investigations for all scientists or industrial contractors who wished to have access to any EC-controlled nuclear information. The signing was the culmination of long months of intensive debate among politicians, military planners and atomic scientists over the fate of this new energy source and the means by which it would be regulated. President Truman appointed David Lilienthal as the first chairman of the EC. Congress gave the new Civilian Commission extraordinary power and considerable independence to carry out its mission. To provide the Commission exceptional freedom in hiring scientists and professionals, Commission employees were exempt from the civil service system. Because of the need for great security, all production facilities and nuclear reactors would be government-owned, while all technical information and research results would be under Commission control. The National Laboratory System was established from the facilities created under the Manhattan Project. Argonne National Laboratory was one of the first laboratories authorized under this legislation as a contractor-operated facility dedicated to fulfilling the new Commission's mission. The Commission's first order of business was to inspect the scattered empire of plants and laboratories to be inherited from the Army. The EC was furthermore in charge of developing the United States nuclear arsenal, taking over these responsibilities from the wartime Manhattan Project. Over the course of its first decade, The EC oversaw the operation of Los Alamos Scientific Laboratory, devoted primarily to weapons development, and, in 1952, the establishment of a second weapons laboratory in California, the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. It also implemented the crash program to develop the hydrogen bomb, and played key roles in the prosecution of the Rosenbergs for espionage. It began a program of regular nuclear testing both in the Pacific Proving Grounds and at the Continental Nevada Test Site. While it also supported much basic research, the vast majority of its early budget was devoted to atomic weapons development and production. Within the EC, high-level scientific and technical advice was provided by the General Advisory Committee, originally headed by J. Robert Oppenheimer. In its early years, the GAC provided a number of controversial decisions, notably its decision against building the hydrogen bomb in 1949. As a result, Senator Brian McMahon influenced the decision not to reappoint J. Robert Oppenheimer to the GAC in 1952 after his 6-year statutory term expired. David Lilienthal, then EC chair, agreed with Oppenheimer and opposed a crash program to build the hydrogen bomb ahead of any other nation. The White House asked Lilienthal to leave the Atomic Commission. He did so on February 15, 1950. Lilienthal was one of the original members of the commission who granted Oppenheimer clearance in 1947. With Oppenheimer and Lilienthal removed, Truman announced the United States' decision to build the hydrogen bomb, and major supporter of hydrogen weapons Admiral Lewis W. Strauss was later appointed by Eisenhower as EC chair.